So I'm at Safeway, Safeway here in Redwood City, and I just saw the craziest thing. So I bought acetaminophen earlier today. My wife is sick, and it was the wrong kind. It was sinus or something. I don't know. And so I came back. This was a couple hours ago. So I just came back just now, and I'm waiting in the customer service line. I've got my receipt. I've got my receipt and everything. I have the old one. I picked out the new one. I'm ready to go. And there's nobody at the customer service desk. And so I'm sitting there for a minute and thinking, like, I don't know, am I even supposed to be here? But it says customer service hours until 8, and it was 7:50 whatever, so it's before 8. Anyway, so I'm there, and then another woman comes in behind me, and she's kind of looking around a bit. I think she's a little less patient than I am. She's kind of looking around a bit. Oh, what's going on over here? What's going on over there? What's going on over here? And then she says to me, like, is no one coming? And I kind of give her the, like, like, I'm in the same boat as you, but also calm down. It's only been a minute. And so I says to her, well, I just made that face. And then I noticed that an employee was coming over from the checkout area and coming back to the customer service area. And then it's logistically difficult to describe. But so just as, so I'm here, and then behind me is this woman, this other customer B, and then she starts walking to the left behind me, but the employee is coming from the right to the left, and then so she happens to be right in front of the employee, and then they both go. She kind of takes a couple steps behind the counter, and the employee takes a step behind her and says something like, she says to her, you can't be back here, or something like that. And then she says, well, I'm waiting, we need an employee here for help. And then things get hot real fast. And so they exchange a couple back and forth. They're like, oh, well, you can't come back here. It's super important to judgment of who was correct in this fight. I don't recall if the employee ever used the word please in any of the initial interactions. That's very critical. So then the customer comes back, the employee goes behind the counter, or through the door, and there's people next to me. I don't want them to see that I'm recording. And I'm just gonna turn the car on to make it look less weird. Oh, that probably looks more weird. I need to start driving in the parking lot.
Papa John's provided garlic butter.
Yeah.
And Mitch got a lot of sauce.
Okay, I'm backing out. So, what point of the story were we? The employee goes behind. I'm just going to pull into one of these empty spots in the back to finish this story. Oh, here has a little more light. Okay, thanks for sticking with me, guys, by the way. I know that this may not be the best story receiving experience. Look at all this light I have now. So here was, if you're curious, here was the original receipt. Here's my, that's a spoiler alert that I got a second receipt. So they have this little fight, and then the customer B comes and stands back behind me. An employee is knocking on the door to get someone to come out, and then customer B decides she hasn't quite had enough and says, you could have used the word please or something like that. Or like, you need to learn customer service or something like that. And then the employee said something like, you can't be back here, please don't come back here, you can't be back here, it's just common sense. And then the customer, that really set her off. Then she was like, you can't, I should logistically at this point in the fight, I'm physically between these two people, and they have both made eye contact with me in kind of a come on, right kind of way. So I feel like I have to choose an allegiance here, and I don't want to. I mean, practically, they're both being unreasonable, but you know, there's higher well, I don't want to make judgment. Everyone's right, everyone's wrong. And so so they're going back and forth, and then the customer B is like, you can't tell me that's common sense. I'm a customer, or something like that. And then at this point, a second employee comes out behind the door, and that's the person who will actually be serving us at customer service. And so employee A goes back to her station. Employee B comes out, and then customer B was like, what was her name? She blah 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 blah. Like she's gonna file a report or something. Anyway, luckily I was first in line, so I did my exchange and walked out, and just told you this story. That whole exchange probably took 45 seconds. So it's pretty artful of me to make this a 6.5 minute story. Anyway, love you guys. Bye.